Hello folks, it's the Fat Man here. We're trying a new thing today, a new microphone to work with my Insta360 Ace Pro. This is for the purposes of vlogging. We're going to go out and test it off a ride today. As you can see on the Triumph Street Triple, my hooligan bike. It's very dirty at the moment, needs a clean. But I'm late for my meeting. I'm going to go to a ride out with my friend Titch. So let's get on with it and see how this sounds on the move. Right. Hip a crocker pig here. Yep. Fucking big fat hog. Let's get that done, get the mirrors sorted out. Oh, I'm so late, Titch. Sorry, mate. Oh, something here is preventing me turning my head. Oh, it's this fucking Ace Pro adapter. One thing I will say to everybody is I have had the hell of a job getting my vlogging setup sorted. And spent absolutely loads of money on loads of really expensive kit that's advertised everywhere that's turned out to be utter garbage, and I'm going to do a few videos for people so hopefully they don't make the same mistakes that I've made. Well, so if you've looked at my channel, you'll see that I've been slowly but surely learning how to make motor vlog videos. And now it's time to add my voice to it, so here I am. I intend to do a series of vlogs which I'm going to call Kiss My Ring. And basically it's an opportunity for me to have a little rant and tell you how I think the world should be as opposed to how it actually is. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll have a little break here. What are you up to? Oh God almighty. What have we got here? What have we got here? Absolutely fuck all. Let's get past you. Why does that guy fucking brake like that? Fucking wanker. What is this guy? Oh, he's some bloody long distance lorry driver. They park up here for the night. At least it has opened the road up a little bit. Anyway. So the topic of today's rant is going to be the Institute of Advanced Motorists, personified in my case through the august body known as the East Sussex Advanced Motorcyclists. I was prompted to make this vlog because I have recently completed my DVSA advanced rider scheme with the guy who actually instructed me through my DAS, and I was so impressed with it and so impressed with his instruction and so not impressed with the Institute of Advanced Motorists that I think that it's worth logging down my experiences in case anyone else is thinking of wasting their money with ESAM. So ESAM is the East Sussex Advanced Motorcyclists. They are obviously based in East Sussex. Here is their web page. I'll put it up somewhere up here. And I was first introduced to them not long after I passed my test. Actually, I was introduced to somebody who was their area manager actually on one of the first group rides that I went on. And that individual suggested that I get some further instruction, which I agreed with. And suggested that I do this course. So I went off dutifully, found their website, did my research, paid my money, and then heard nothing from them for ages and ages and ages and ages. So things didn't start off on a good foot, but I've been following Motojitsu, and I'll link him in the description, and he's got a couple of mantras, one being shut up and practice, which I completely agree with, and the other one is about continuing to take further instruction to improve your skills to become a better rider, which I also agree with. So I was pretty keen to get on with what they call their Roadsmart course, and the Roadsmart course is sort of training which is based, I understand it, on the police motorcycle handbook, although I don't know that for actual sure. But that's what I've been told. So, you know, weeks have gone by since I paid my subs to this group. I didn't hear anything, so very keen to crack on with it, so I followed them up, and eventually, after kicking up a bit of a stink and saying, if you don't want to do it, give me my money back, I was eventually introduced to one of their observers. Now I'm going to explain to you what an observer is. The IAMS or ESAM, whichever one you want to use, don't have any instructors. What they have instead are what they call observers, and observers are just punters like you and me, except that they've been through the course already and they have been assessed as being at a level of competence. Now I don't know what that level of competence is, and I can't find it out anywhere either, because just like everything else with IAMS, the whole thing is completely opaque. But the cynic in me believes that they use these people because they don't have to pay them. I mean, if you had an instructor, you'd have to pay them wages or, you know, piece rate or whatever. These guys here, what are you doing? These guys here are basically just members of the club, of the ESAM club, and they do it for free. Now, that creates a problem in my mind, because what you get are non-professional people applying a subjective interpretation of what's called the method being the way to ride as laid out in their handbook. And you know, I'm not saying that these people are good, bad people or good people, whatever, but they're not trained. They're not professionally trained people. They're not instructors. They're not professional riders. Yeah, they're just Joe Blogs. So I started the course with this observer, and in the way that they recommend, I turned up to the odd meeting and asked for ride outs with an alternative observer, so you get a couple of different perspectives. All good so far, you would think, wouldn't you? But what I found was there were three things that completely put me off. Okay, now come on, this thing is really digging in my shoulder. It's starting to really get on my wick. I have to say, Insta360 Ace Pro is a bit of garbage. So yeah, there were three things that really put me off, and the first one was the method as interpreted by my observer required the continual demonstration of progress through overtaking. Now, the method itself says overtake is all good and fine, but you must stay within the laws of the road. You know, they acknowledge that it introduces increased risk into the ride, so they say, you know, only do it when you can make progress. So, for example, you know, if I was going to overtake these vehicles in front of me, knowing that there was traffic lights a quarter of a mile up the road, it's just not worth it. You just stay where you are and don't introduce that extra risk. This guy, not interested. In fact, not just this guy. All the observers I rode with, pushing you to overtake, to speed to overtake, pushing you to ride on the wrong side of the road, to get around corners, and it just was flipping dangerous. So that was the first thing. The second thing is that they break the road down into three positions: 1, 2, 3. So what they'll say is, on position 1 for a right hand bend, gives you more time to see around the corner and react, and I kind of agree with it, and this is where I would go for position 1, but this was not good enough for them. What they wanted was to ride right in the gutter. Now I live, as you can see, in the beautiful countryside in East Sussex. The gutter here is full of crud. Broken road surfaces, horse poo, dead badgers, you name it. Fly tipping at the side of the road. I am not riding in the gutter. In my opinion, that's the fastest way to have a nasty, to have a spill. And then the third one was, as I was going through the process, I'd started to ride this bike on track and was thinking about buying a track bike, and I'd been introduced by my track instructors to the concept of trail braking, and I was really interested to know what the advanced motorcyclists, as they held themselves out to be, thought the application for trail braking on the road could be. So on a ride with a septuagenarian observer on an XSR 900, he could barely handle and manoeuvre. I asked him when we stopped for a brew, and what he thought trail braking was applying the real brake through a corner, and that was just the final straw for me, because you know, dangerous I suppose could be subjective, yeah, but I expected an advanced or a self-proclaimed advanced motorcyclist to have an idea about advanced motorcycling techniques, and he just did not have a clue. Didn't have a clue. So I raised my concerns with IAMS and ESAM, and that's when I found out what a horrible bunch of people ESAM are. They don't like criticism, they won't truck criticism, and what happened very quickly was I started to get attract a lot of online flack and bullying from their area manager. You know, they would say, "Oh, come to do East Sussex Advanced Motorcyclists. It'll make you really safe. It'll only cost you several £100 or whatever it is they're charging." And I would just put, "Well, it wasn't my experience. I thought it was really dangerous. You're better off spending your money with an enhanced riding instructor," which is what I was doing by that stage, who's got comms and is a proper instructor and can actually improve your riding. And they did not like that at all, and I was basically bullied out of the social media groups for this area without any kind of appeal. So there you go. And since then I have been approached by other observers in that group through various other clubs that I belong to say, yeah, actually a lot of the observers there aren't worth the freaking mud off the sole of your shoe. The method itself can be interpreted in a way that is really dangerous, and actually that they're very unpleasant. I had one person as well tell me, who happens to be female, that you know, the group's just full of basically dirty old men, which obviously I am one of those. I used to work with that lady, and she's found it very intimidating and very off-putting, and I've heard that from several women as well. So I'm kind of getting around to comparing that to what I've just done. So there's a local guy who I've used for all my motorcycle instruction the last couple of years, and I'll link him in the description. What happens with him is it's one-on-one or one-on-two. There's full comms, he's observing you as you ride, he's advising you on roadcraft, how to ride the motorcycle, gears, just everything, observation. Really, he's really experienced rider, and he's a fantastic guy, and he's brought my riding on absolutely leaps and bounds. So if you're out there and you're thinking about improving your motorcycling, my advice is basically blow IAMS out of your arse at high speed, particularly if you live in East Sussex. Don't go anywhere near ESAM, and instead go and get involved in the enhanced rider scheme. So that's my little rant. We'll see whether that comes out on the new vlogging setup, but assuming that it does, I am going to introduce you to the East Sussex Advanced Motorcyclist group, and I'm going to invite them to kiss my ring.